Happy Tuesday, folks. In this video, we're going to be going over the latest Detroit Lions news and rumors for you folks today. We're going to talk about the latest injury news, anything up on our team as well as the Ravens team, because we got the game in a week. Al-Quadin Muhammad is going to get a little bit of boost in playing time. PFF grades came out. We're going to talk about who did good and who did bad. Week 2 NFL power rankings. Lions take a big boost in an upward trajectory. And we're going to get into the trade idea reaction by Detroit Jock City. But before we do that, again, the Lions are facing the Ravens next week on Monday. The Lions are a big underdog at 5.5. The total over and under is 51.5. Obviously, the Ravens are favored by 5.5 points, but I do believe the Lions legit have a shot because there is an injury to the defensive player formerly of the Detroit Lions. That's Kyle Van Noy. And now you say, oh, that's not a big name. But for the Ravens, it's their best player on defense. Says Ravens Pro Bowl edge pass rusher. Kyle Van Noy is bracing to potentially miss multiple games due to a hamstring injury suffered Sunday per sources. Kyle Van Noy, who led the team in sacks 12.5 last year, is hoping the injury is short-lived. But unfortunately for him, and fortunately for the Detroit Lions, he's not going to be playing on Sunday. That's exactly what it looks like. And for the Lions offense, that's a good thing, right? Less defenders we got to face, and we're doing a big game over there in Baltimore. But it's not just them dealing with injuries as well. Dan Campbell spoke about Aidan Hutchinson as well as Davenport. He says during the Bears game, defensive end Marcus Davenport left the field with the shoulder injury in the third quarter. Davenport also missed some time in the first half of the ankle injury. Campbell also gave an update on defensive end Aidan Hutchinson, who appeared to injury in the second half of the collision. He said Hutch is a little bit sore, but he is all right. And that's a good thing from the Lions front. We don't know the extent of the injury for Davenport. We don't know, but that's the power for course, right? He is a guy who has always been injured, and there is nobody that didn't expect he would be injured. I expected it. I think everybody expected. Did you guys expect him to be injured? I sure did, but we don't know the extent of it. Hey, we'll see. But anyways, we got Al-Quadin Muhammad, and we'll talk about him in a second. Who is going to win the game on Monday Night Football? If you have the Lions winning, put L for Lions. If you got the Ravens winning, put R for Ravens. Dan Campbell spoke about Al-Quadin Muhammad due to the injury of Davenport. He says, yeah, well, look, the guy bringing it up again. He had a really good camp, and he just continues to do things for us, Campbell said. He's crafty. He's strong. He's got some explosiveness, plays hard. God, he plays hard. I mean, there's a number of plays, I can think we're 3 right now, where he is running out of the stack. He's running out of the ball, the screen. He is running to try to get the ball or making a tackle. And it's kind of an effort with that he's got the ability-wise that gives you a chance. So he's been big for us, and he's going to get more of a role. He has earned that role. Now, I do believe that Al-Quadin Muhammad has earned a good role for the Detroit Lions and should be given an opportunity for more on the edge, right? But he's going to have to do that because we have injuries to Joshua Pascal, Marcus Davenport's dinged up, so he's going to have opportunity to make those plays, and he has done good. And that's a great thing. He's a nice rotational piece right now for the Detroit Lions. We got to see what happens going forward, right? The Lions, we got to know what's going on with Davenport because he is the number 2. He's going to be the opposite of Hutch if he is healthy. But if he's not healthy, Quadin Muhammad is going to get a lot of those snaps. Hey, we love what we're seeing from Al-Quadin Muhammad. One thing I love doing is hanging out with friends and family on game day. And one key to tailgating is having excellent food. And that's why I absolutely love Omaha Steaks. You can enjoy USDA certified tenderloin steaks, juicy burgers, cozy and convenient comfort meals, plus tailgating favorites such as chicken wings and smash burgers and big deli-styled franks. And now during the Red Hot Sale event, you can get 50% off SiWi on omahasteaks.com. Plus, our listeners get an extra $35 off with the promo code LIONS at checkout. These burgers are fantastic, guys. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm high on the sirloin steaks, and they're very best that I have had in a long time. They also offer unrivaled quality and variety of every bite that is packed by their 100% guarantee. They're a family-owned company with over 100 years experience in the industry. So get fired up with fall grilling today with Omaha Steaks. Go to omahasteaks.com for 50% off site-wide during the Red Hot Sale event. And for an additional $35 off, use the promo code LIONS at checkout. That's 50% off on omahasteaks.com and additional $35 off by using the promo code LIONS at checkout. See site for details. We get to this defensive line, and we're going to get into the top PFF grades and the bottom PFF grades in a little bit. But we just need more bodies on there. And also, could the Lions look to acquire talent before the NFL trade deadline, especially when it comes, if it's serious? We don't know about the Davenport injury, but if it is serious, I absolutely could see the Lions doing something of that nature for sure. But right now, we just got to wait in for the second opinion for Davenport, because we really don't know. Just like right now, we don't know who's going to win because we're not Nostradamus, but who do you think is going to win the game next week on Monday? You have the Lions winning, put L for Lions. You've got the Ravens put R. So who did good versus the Bears, and who didn't do so well? Let's do the highest and lowest grade PFF grades here. And we're going to start with the offense, and Amon-Ra St. Brown crushed it with 91.6, Jared Goff 85.1, TeSlaa 76.4, Jamo 74.8, and Brock Wright 74.6. Brock Wright coming in here doing a good job, and he did with the touchdown and getting open, making some plays. The Lions offense was on fire, just absolutely on fire. Everybody was doing some lightning right there. So give a shout out to the Lions offense. Same names that we always see at the very top. What about the very bottom? The bottom's really not that bad, guys. It's really not that bad. And I got to say, I thought Tate Ratledge did a phenomenal job. I know he's at the bottom here, but I rewatched the tape. He was shedding off blockers, going to the next one. I thought he did good. Graham Glasgow, he played better, and Mahogany. The whole center at the very bottom, I thought they played better. Kalif Raymond at 64.1 and Sam LaPorta at 62. Yeah, Sam LaPorta, we haven't seen as much as him as we usually do, especially in this game. But what happens when you have 5 trillion weapons? It's hard to get everybody a weapon. So I thought the Lions did great. Even the lowest graded offensive players, the Lions offense was on fire. What about defense? Top defensive players: Brian Branch 91.4, Aidan Hutchinson 80.8, Al-Quadin Muhammad, who we talked about earlier, 76.4, Marcus Davenport is 70.9, and DJ Reader is 68.9. Very good job. Defensive line did a phenomenal job today, Sunday, and Brian Branch was killing it. This guy is all over the field. All over it. Best defender we have. I say Brian Branch, he's just all over he's just crazy good. Just crazy good. Great job by the Lions defense. Good to see that defensive line get in there. How about the lowest graded here? Mekhi Wingo bringing up the top. We kind of expect that second-year guy who didn't play much because of injury. Alex Anzalone, J. Kerb, Terrion Arnold at 48.6, and we need to see more from Terrion Arnold. That is an absolute fact. He's got to get better. I thought he was progressing well in training camp, but he's got to continue to get better in year 2. We need him to step up at that. As that number 1. That's why we drafted him, right? Is to be a number 1 cornerback. I'm not too worried about anybody else. Roy Lopez is just a backup guy. Nothing serious right there. Terrion Arnold's the one that I'm just looking at, because everyone else has kind of proved themselves, and Mekhi Wingo is he's a young player, so I'm not going to put too much weight on that. But a guy who we draft the first round's got to get a little bit better, and I think he will. I think he will. Remember, he is dealing with a groin injury. It's not really an excuse, but before he got dinged up, he was looking decent. We'll see if it actually continues, right, when it comes to that. But, yeah, we'll see. We'll see. We'll definitely see on this one. If you do me a favor and hit that like button, if we can get to 300 likes in this video, that would be great. It really does help out. Smash that like button. Let's get into the good old power rankings. Here's what it looks like, folks. The Athletic had the Lions last week at 14. They jumped to 6, a significant jump in the top 10. Yahoo Sports is the same. Mr. Consistent right there, 5 being 5. CBS Sports HQ's Pete Prisco, the moron. Last week we had 11, and we go to 12 somehow because Pete Prisco. Bleacher Report last week had the Lions at 10. Now they jump up to 7. SI had the Lions at 12, jumping up as a top 5 team. The Ringer last week at 6. They fall down to 7. Weird way you go backwards. And ESPN goes from 8 to 5. Weird to see power rankings go backwards in the opposite direction. Pete Prisco, it's hard to even want to talk about CBS. His ranking, everything he says is always wrong. It's always wrong. Let's get into Jason Shandel from Detroit Jock City saying the Lions should make a trade for one of these defenders. Says, with Smith and Philly, both Aziz Ujulari and Ogbo Okoronkwo have been inactive for each of the team's first 2 games of the 2025 season. As much as you hate to admit it, this is entirely a product of the wealth of depth the Eagles have at that position, and either one of those two would be a great in the Lions uniform. First, look at the trade that is needed. Then we'll look at why Ujulari and Okoronkwo are the answers. If you're already convinced the team needs help, feel free. Skip ahead, that's what he's saying. Look, I wouldn't mind the trade, right? Lions need help. They need help at the edge. You could look at the Eagles. They got a plethora. The Giants, they got some pass rushers, and especially if Davenport is injury if it's a long thing, we don't know. The Lions most definitely could make a trade. They got 2 6th-round picks and 2 7th-round picks. It wouldn't take much to get one of these guys. They got a 5th as well, so the Lions can do it if they want to do a low-end trade to get a pass rusher before the trade deadline. What do you guys think? Would you trade for one of those guys? Let me know in the thoughts in the comments below.